your childhood habits followed you today? With the recent obesity pandemic, government regulation has been trying harder and harder to keep kids healthy. Michelle Obama has recently been promoting fruits and vegetables for children's diets for a while now. While I feel that it's necessary, she's missing on a key aspect of fitness. Public schools should mandate more time for PE for three reasons. One, PE is a means for exercise for many children. Two, inadequate PE time leads to obesity. And three, adequate PE time leads to fitness. My first main point discusses that PE is a means for physical exercise. Centers of Disease and Control website state that 17% of children ages 2 to 19 have experienced obesity at least once in their lifetime. That means 12.7 million children are at risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. This is even worse if you come from a family of poverty. You have a 14% increased chance of being obese. A scholarly article from the BMC Public Health shows that a researcher named Zhao in Beijing recognized the need to do a study on childhood obesity. He found that more and more children in his area have been becoming obese and that he should do something about it. He went to middle schools and high schools across Beijing and split them in half from 6th graders to 10th graders. The control group would do their average 45 minutes of moderate exercise for 3 days a week, and that's it. The actual experiment group would do 60 minutes of moderate physical activity daily and participate in 2 weekly lectures with their whole families present. This made a huge difference in children's BMIs, body fat percentages, and body structure eventually after the 6-month experiment. To review my first main point, there has been 12.7 million children affected by childhood obesity, and researcher Zhao has found something that could help us. My second main point is that inadequate PE time leads to obesity. The National State Board of Education states that you only need zero point 0.5 credits to graduate high school physical education time. That means you'll get 45 minutes of PE 3 days a week from moderate to less moderate activity. From my personal experience, we had about 2 days of actual running and swimming time for about 40 minutes, and would usually swim or run a couple miles. Didn't really learn much about weights, mostly just how to run. And then the other day we would play softball or basketball, usually lighter, more fun, just to kind of move around. I felt that wasn't very useful in future fitness goals, and I didn't really gain much from it besides basketball is fun. I know many of you could say that, well, children can get their exercise through sports. While that could be potentially true, I feel that many families don't have the opportunities to participate in sports due to the financial costs tied with them. I know at least 5 or 6 children in my school that weren't able to play in sports because they had jersey costs, traveling costs, and meal costs for every game, and they just weren't able to pay for it. To review my second main point, you only need 0.5 credits to graduate high school in America of physical education, and the physical education that you do get isn't necessarily beneficial for future fitness goals. My third main point is that adequate PE time leads to fitness. Zhao clearly found something that worked for his area, and while daily activity was the staple of it, I feel like the real takeaway from this experiment was that they had 2 lectures weekly with their whole families present that taught them how to prepare certain meals cleanly, how to exercise properly, and even when to exercise. It got to a point where the children would actually educate their parents on how to prepare a certain meal healthily and how often they should exercise. I feel that PE now is the fitness of the future. To conclude, children are facing the brunt of the obesity pandemic. They're simply not getting enough PE time, and the PE time that they do get is not beneficial. From my personal experience, I didn't necessarily learn certain things that I should have learned while I was at high school or even grade school. Were you taught proper fitness techniques in your high school? I'm asking for a change in the way we raise our future generations. I am mandating that we provide more of PE time for public schools in general. For three reasons. PE is a means for exercise, inadequate PE time leads to obesity, and finally adequate PE time leads to fitness. Thank you.